Hi there.
Hi, welcome to Curious Collection. I'm Will.
I'm Cinnamon.
Today we're going to talk about a question that we got from Karen K. She wants to know how our SKU and inventory system works. But before we get into that, I want to thank all of our new subscribers. We've had a tremendous amount of people that have joined the channel, probably around 50 just in the last couple of weeks. So that's tremendous. We really appreciate you being here. Hopefully we can offer some things, a different perspective, or maybe a different way of looking at things that you just haven't considered yet. So we're going to talk about our SKU system. There's 18 million resellers on eBay. Just as an example, we all do things differently. And so there's no right or wrong. And I love that about selling on the platform is that you can really make it your own, do it the way that it works for you.
Right.
So our SKU system has evolved. We've been doing this full time as a reseller for 4 years. And when I first started, everything
just knew where everything was.
Sure.
It was insane.
Yeah, sure. I only had, between 200 and 600 items for the first year. So, of course, I know where that item is because I put it there and it's only been a minute and it would sell and I would go find it off the shelf and I would take it and put it away. And then I got to a point where I went, I don't even remember listing that. I don't know where that item came from. I don't remember listing it. Is it even here? And I would spend an hour looking for something, and that's terrifying.
Well, and there would be no way that I would be able to help you.
No.
Because I wasn't a part of that. So I'm like, I have no idea where you put it.
Right. So it was all organized. It was clean to the eye, but had no indexing, no inventory system, no nothing.
No, it was kind of like, okay, well, I bought all of these things at the same time.
Right. I listed them all the same day, so they all went in the same tote. The tote did not have a number. It didn't have a location. It had nothing in the listing that would tell me where to look. And so we figured that we needed to find something better. And if you're watching this to this point, you probably are feeling like you might need something better as well. So the first thing we started doing is I would put a location for the item in the title. And that really didn't seem to be much of a problem for the next 1,000 items. So now we're, in that 1,500, 2,000 items, and all of a sudden I have locations and things have been moved. That doesn't work. And it's in the title. So I'm losing characters in my title that I could be using to describe the product better.
Yeah.
In order to put a location or a SKU.
Well, and it also confuses buyers. I hate trying to and I'm like, what the hell does B2 mean? I'm like, is that something that's pertinent to me as a buyer? That's like, what does that mean? Is that
right?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah. So we then evolved from that because again, we saw that there were challenges with it. It wasn't working for us. So we started using the custom SKU fields in eBay, and we started putting the location there. Okay. Again, still challenges because for me personally, I would pick up a stack of playing cards and there would be 5 packs that were all similar, but not identical. So I would list them all. And I found that I was accidentally shipping out the wrong pieces because they were not individually identified. If I didn't take the time to really look at the pictures and make sure, that pack of cards is open. That one's sealed. That one has a slight imperfection in the corner. And I was shipping out the wrong stuff and it was not making for happy customers. And then it was obviously not making me happy.
Yeah.
So we have evolved obviously a long way. What we do now is we use our thermal printer, and you don't have to do this. Obviously, you can, just use a piece of tape.
You can just have blank.
You can use labels.
Blank labels.
You can write on, put everything in an individual bag and write on that. So what we like to do is that I'm going to get this close. You can see we have a SKU number we have the number. We have our store link for eBay, and we have a QR code that will take our customer directly to our store. We started doing that because we thought, well, if we're going to have an inventory number on there, we're already putting something on the package. Well, let's see if we can get them to come back to our store. If they like the way that they got their product, if they like what they bought, if they got a good deal, they might want to come back.
Yeah.
And we want to try to make that as easy as possible. So all of these numbers we just use Excel. We printed out on a 2-inch by 1-inch label, and each label we've given an individual number. So these numbers go on, like I said, we'll take each item individually. We'll put a number on it. So I brought some product and we put the numbers on each individual piece. So when we go to pull it, we'll have
There's no confusion. Like this is a great example, right? Because these are like Longer Burger basket liners. Okay, so these are both the same color, but they go to different baskets. So if you're pulling and you're like, oh, I sold that red Longer Burger, which red one is it? You know,
maybe it's
like
this one.
We want it to be as simple as possible for ourselves so that we don't screw it up.
Right. So in the custom SKU on eBay, the first thing we put is the location. So we know where to go look for that item. So as an example, this location is rack 2, shelf B, bin 2. So on this rack, we would have 3 bins. Each one is going to direct you in the right direction. And then that SKU number will take you to that specific item. We do that with every different storage option that we have. So we sell jewelry. We sell jewelry. Small jewelry gets placed into a small envelope, as you can see, gets the SKU label, and then goes into a specific cabinet.
Right.
So we would put the cabinet, and then we put the SKU number. Very easy. And then we organize these in the cabinet, in the file cabinet, by SKU
numerical
number.
order.
By SKU number.
Now, my bigger pieces of jewelry that don't fit into an envelope, we put in the bubble mailers. Now, originally, when we first started doing this, we didn't have the orange cabinet for one, but we didn't have those labels yet either. So I just wrote with Sharpie right on the top of the bubble mailer. And then when I would sell this piece, I've already got it in a bubble mailer. I'd put it in my jewelry box. I'd put it back in this and then fold it over and ship it out. So that works really well. Like I said, if you don't have a thermal printer, you get yourself a Sharpie, and now you're able to you can put playing cards in there. You can put lots of different smalls
pocket knives
into this. And then again, you can put that number right on the tote, and you could say, this is 1B1 and then the numbers. So you can take your shelves in your stock room or if you've got shelves behind you or whatever, and you can organize a lot, because these bubble mailers, you can fit a lot into one of these kind of totes. And then again, you can put 3 totes per shelf. That's a lot of stuff.
Right. So another way that we store stuff is actually not using the SKU numbers, because we do have products that are paper, and I'm not going to waste the cost of all of those sleeves to individually sleeve every single piece of paper until it sells, because that can be a lot of cost. Even at 3 cents a sleeve, you figure we have 10,000 items, it's going to add up. So what we do is we have some manila envelopes for larger pieces of paper, and you can see this one I've labeled ads, file 20. So this is for our ad store. We keep these in a separate cabinet so that when I go to put this back, I'm going to put it back with the ad store, because we operate 2 different eBay stores. So we try to keep all of the stores different. We don't want to have those inventories intermingled, because then we're going to have the opportunity for things getting lost or misplaced. So, and then we just have a regular file folder here that's 35. So this would go to our normal store. This one goes to our ad specific store. And
in that SKU, we put FF35.
Right.
File folder 35. That way we know it's not orange cabinet 35. It's not stock room 35. It's file folder 35.
Right. And the same thing with our ad store. All of our ad store is in the same cabinet, but it still has that ads on it, so that we know where to look.
And we use the numeric system so that, and this is our role. So these numbers, we're not going to have an orange 35 and a file folder 35 and a stock room 35. Everything has one number, so it's not going to be confused. If I go to pull a piece of jewelry and I look in the orange cabinet for 2121, and it's not there, then I'm like, oh, maybe I forgot to say stock room. So let me go in the stock room and check and see if the jewelry's in there.
Right. So, and then because we're printing them ourselves, you saw that small roll. When we print them, we just print like 1,000 or 2,000 at a time. There's like 1,000 on one of these rolls if you're using a thermal printer, and the cost per label is less than a cent. So it really is a very low cost. The peace of mind is
worth much more than a cent, though.
Yes, and the defect on your account. If you have too many defects where you've lost the item and you have to cancel that order, then all of a sudden, our store as an example, top rated. If you got knocked down to above standard, you lose that 10% discount on fees. We paid over $12,000 last year in eBay fees. 10% of that $1,200, well, we can just offset that hopefully with just some labels. And if that keeps you from having to cancel orders, that could save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So again, very low cost. Now, I do want to caution, if you are using thermal labels, people that have some experience with it, is that these are temperature sensitive and they're humidity sensitive. So we have seen on some extremely old items that maybe they were stored next to a furnace or like next to an air vent, that the color on those can get washed out. So it is something you want to be aware of. You definitely want to be able to maintain your climate, not too humid, not too dry, whatever. I really don't know what's causing them to wash out, but I know that it's over time. So most of our items sell very quickly, as in less than a year. So it's not such a big problem, but just be aware that can be a challenge over time. And again, you can use an inkjet printer on labels. You can handwrite it. There's so many different ways to go about this. The whole point, have a location, have an item specific number.
That's really, it really is important, because you can be like, oh, well, I got this. I'll just throw it in a tote and then I can just pull. There's going to come a day when you have two items that are similar, and it just, you really don't want to do that. Oh, your postcards. You didn't show them those.
Yes, I've got some here.
Oh, okay.
So with my postcards, I do the same thing. I take a sleeve, I have numbered, and then inside that sleeve, because again, postcards are paper, you want to be very careful with them. So what you can see is that I'll have multiple cards in that sleeve. I'm always careful not to overstuff. I don't want to damage them. I don't want to bend the corners or anything like that. But, and I can put, say, 50 cards in one of these sleeves, and then it goes in our file cabinet and it goes in numeric order. If I have two cards that are the same or similar, but they're similar, they have different postmarks, I can list one, I'll put it in this sleeve, and the next one I'll put in a different sleeve.
Right, so that we don't
completely takes away the risk of having multiple items in the same sleeve that look the same.
Right. So if you do have a couple of items that are maybe similar that you're not able to put an individual SKU number on because you need to put them in a grouping, then I do absolutely recommend that you don't put those same items in the same tote.
Yeah.
Or at least put a different SKU number on them so that you don't mix them up. Tomorrow you will thank yesterday you.
Absolutely. So that's how we control our inventory. It works well for us. We have, like we've talked about, we have over 13,000 pieces listed on eBay between two different stores. It works well for us. If you have a system that may be different than what we're doing, and you'd like to throw it in and you want to help some other people out, we're more than welcome to throw that in there. We would really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Like and subscribe if you think we're doing anything positive here. And we do, for the new people, we do like to answer questions. If you have a question that we haven't answered, or maybe we haven't given the right detail for, throw it in there. We will absolutely address that. We'll either answer you in the message box or we'll do a video on it.
Right. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Good luck out there.